Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Behind the Groove podcast. I am DJ Keo.
And I am Basil Barrington. And today we took a look at the brand new show on Paramount Plus,
hmm
Halo. And they have the first episode, obviously, is called Contact. And man, we've been looking forward to this show.
Yeah,
The
long
year
time.
is 25. The other thing is the year is 2552. I think it's so important when we look at shows like this to figure out what year they're in, you know,
Yeah.
because
Well,
we can figure out like how advanced the technology is based on the year they're
yeah.
in, right?
Yeah. Well, Halo's got a lot of time jumps because Master Chief's going to spend a lot of time in stasis. So we're going to jump forward like 20 years, 50 years, 70 years. At
Okay.
least in the video game, he's in stasis a lot during battle.
This joint was shot in Canada, man, Ontario, huh?
Yeah, everything's shot up here, man.
You guys just like, here's some tax credits. Come up here and shoot your movie.
Exactly. That dollar is 72 cents, man. Come up here and shoot something.
Oh my goodness, man. This was like okay, first episode Halo, pretty impressive contact. Um
Mhm.
I was impressed with this. Like I said, I was looking forward to it. By the way, IMDb first
Mhm.
episode, it's a 7.7
I think that's
rating.
fair.
That's
I
pretty
think that's
fair.
that's a fair that's a fair rating. You know what took me out of the show though?
What's that?
They really, they had the space jeeps, the warthogs, and they have all this other stuff, and they got the space
Mhm.
guns, and there's some Chevy Tahoes in the background. And I was like, "What the hell's going on over here?" Like, yo, you couldn't put some siding, aluminum siding on the thing and make it look like a space car. You just got a regular Jeep from that's a 500-year-old Jeep
It's like
that's
the,
in
the
there.
Taliban Jeeps, like the old school Toyota Jeeps they
Yeah, they got
always drive
Toyotas,
around
man.
in. Like,
That
come
Jeep is
on.
500 years old.
And the
They got
year
that
is
thing
2552.
exactly. It's no, it's almost 550 years old. That's how old that Jeep is. And they're
Wow.
driving Chevy Tahoe still. So kudos to GMC for making a spectacular Jeep that is still solid in the future. So kudos to them. But yeah, I saw that and I laughed and I forgot what I was watching.
So it's like on what is it called? Mandrigo, right? They have like
Yeah.
guns, they have vehicles that have like wheels, like rubber wheels. But when you go to Reach, Fleetcom, they have all the high tech, the space ships and everything,
Yeah.
I mean, they still
Well,
have
these are
like the Marines and like guns and things like that, though.
Yeah, well, these are the colonies, so like they don't have all the high tech stuff on the colonies
Hmm.
because they basically for Halo lore, there's the outer colonies are doing a rebellion against the government. They don't want to be ruled by the government because the government's basically military ONI thing,
Hmm.
and they kind of run the outer colonies, and that's the reason why the Spartan twos were created in the first place to put down the rebellion with
Hmm.
these giant hulking monster looking men to scare the crap out of everybody. That's what they were for,
Now, wait a
and it
minute.
just
You
so
said
happened in their
Spartan
show.
2? I mean, was there a Spartan 1?
Yeah. The Spartan one was like regular sized dudes, and then they
Okay.
figured out how to augment the bodies to make them 8 feet tall hulking
Okay.
dudes. And the other thing
Wow.
that's you gotta remember in the video game, they're
Mhm.
all kids. When you take the helmet off, they're all little kids. They're like 16 years old, 15 years old
These people are grown,
underneath the
man.
suit.
John
Well,
is a
they're
grown man.
yeah, so like I mean, we don't have to go in the lore or whatever, but like
Mhm.
they're younger people underneath the uniforms. They're still kids.
Oh,
Developmentally, they're kids, and physically, they're kids. They just like injected them with stuff and cut up their bones and make them grow.
wow. What do you think about the characters? John, Halsey,
I
Quan,
like
everyone
Halsey.
else.
Halsey's an awful human being. If you She kidnapped kids and then told the parents they died, or like they made a clone so that the kid will be alive for like a week and then just drop dead. So
Mhm.
everyone's mourning these kids that they kidnapped and they're actually in space fighting monsters. So she's just a she's an awful human being who saved humanity, but she's still an awful human being. So that's the best way to describe her.
And speaking of clones, it looked like Halsey was also cloning herself, huh?
Yeah, I think they're trying to allude to that she's working on that stuff, but
Yeah,
uh,
that's a little
this
side
show
project.
is a wide departure from the video game and from the books.
Hmm.
Like it's a vast you know chasm between the two of these things. So I think that they're trying to do their own version of the universe, and it's going to be
Hmm.
completely different. So I don't think that fans like I'm a fan. I play all the Halo games. I read some books. I don't think that if you're a fan, you basically just gotta take this thing for what it is. If you you haven't watched any, well, have you saw some of the movies, right, for
I've
Halo,
seen,
but you haven't,
yeah, I've seen some of this stuff on Netflix. Pretty dope
yeah,
stuff. Pretty much the same sort of Spartans. Some seem like they have superpowers.
yeah,
Um,
they're just faster, bigger, stronger.
Yeah. I did. Speaking of faster and bigger and stronger, I did see like in the beginning of Contact, there was some sputtery. Everything was the way the Spartans moved. It was like they were trying to move fast, but there was almost like a sputtering effect on that. Also
Yeah, I didn't know.
with the elite warriors too of the Covenant. They were
Yeah, the
also.
elites.
Yeah. What do you think about those cats?
I hate the elites so much, right? They're
Mhm.
so hard to kill in the game, man. I hate the elites,
So
especially
the
because they go invisible.
Oh, they have the cloaking. That's pretty dope. Does the Spartans have the cloaking?
No, they don't have
Okay,
cloaking.
see.
They
Okay,
have
so the elite warriors, what is it called? What is a home charity? That's their planet. Is that a far more superior, advanced technological species than Reach and
so
everyone?
basically these guys, they're the prophets. They
Mhm.
kind of got a coalition of different alien races together and trying to take over the universe, if you will, like the
Mhm.
usual trope. And these guys are basically morons who believe in magic god. They don't know anything. They're idiots. And
Really?
but they've kind of talked all these other races through brute force to
Mhm.
take over and have them be subjugated to them. But
You
so
said they're idiots.
they're idiots,
But dude, wait a
right?
minute. But how could they be idiots, man? They seem like they are so far advanced, more advanced than the Spartan culture and everything else, right?
Well, they're not. They didn't. They found the technology. They didn't create the technology.
Okay.
So the stuff they're using, they're Jesus Christ, I'm trying to think of how I can say it. They got the forerunners, and it's complicated.
Mhm.
Basically, there's a race of beings that were before, and they wanted humans to take over. And like it's convoluted and complicated. Halo
Mhm.
lore is ridiculous, right? But anyways, these guys discover they bumble into the technology and they're using it to control all the other
Did they
species.
perfect it once they stumbled onto
Nah,
it?
they just bumble into it. They didn't really do
Really?
anything special with it.
Now you said that this Halo, like what we're watching, is so different than the comic books, the video games. Now, is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I don't know. I'm because I played all the games for so many years. Like I from the
Hmm.
original 360, I've been playing like all like I that's the only way I know it's to be.
Hmm.
So the fact that it's different now is kind of weird.
Hmm.
I'm not like I know there's people that are mad about it, but like I'm indifferent. I'm hoping that the show turns out to be okay, so I'll let it slide till I see more. I did see Cortana, and I was like, ugh, I don't know about that. That design for Cortana is terrible. But
Dude.
she looks like she's a minivan mom. She doesn't look like a computer AI. I don't know. It's
Yeah.
that's not good. But everything else so far is okay, except for there's 2 things I don't like. I don't like that, Master Chief took his helmet off because
Yeah.
you're never supposed to see
So
his
you
face,
okay? So they
ever.
never do that. They're never supposed to.
Never show you. In the
Almost like a
movies,
Mandalorian. Don't take your
yeah,
helmet off.
you never see his face for any reasons.
Mhm.
And, I don't like that they changed his voice, but they had to because 'cause they're gonna show his face, but they shoulda got the actor that plays him in the video games to do his voice. It's so
Wow.
iconic.
Mhm.
It's like having Darth Vader have a different voice that's not James Earl Jones. Like it's just like
It's like Mickey
hey,
Mouse doing Darth Vader, huh?
yeah, yeah. It's like you're not even trying to get the tone and inflection or whatever. He's just doing a whole different thing. He should have never taken his helmet off, and he should never got his voice different. But like as far as Master Chief, how he looks and everything, I like it. Some people are indifferent, but I like it. I think it looks good.
And one other thing before we get into the overview, what do you think
Mhm.
about the graphics, the CGI, everything else like that?
I think it looks good. I
Looks
think it looks
good,
good.
right? Hmm.
Yeah, I think it looks
I mean,
alright.
the space stuff looks good. Reach looks really awesome. I mean, I'm like,
Yeah.
wow, look at this here. When I first saw it, I was like,
Mhm.
when they first came over the mountain and then they, showed this reach. And, right in the middle of it, you had this huge, water feature. The first thing I
Mhm.
thought was like, wow, is this like New York City? And they just like Vic Central Park and made it into like, a water feature
Yeah.
or something. But
It
then you
looks
saw
Reach looks cool.
it looks
It looks
very
really cool.
cool. You think,
And
let me ask you this. You think Reach
yeah.
does look really cool. You think Reach has any like really cool EDM clubs?
Probably. They got the good DJs on Reach.
Like
Uh,
the Spartans are
I like
DJing too.
I like the fact that they didn't skimp on the soldiers. Like, it looks like there's a lot of soldiers there on the base,
Mhm. Yeah.
rather than like, a lot of those other shows, they got 2 people there.
Right.
It looks like
Like
there's a real base here.
copy paste, copy paste, copy
Yeah,
paste.
exactly.
Yeah, that
We're,
looked really.
Boba Fett here, like, we're calling things out, but, like, this
Listen, that
looks like
look.
there's actually some soldiers here.
It
They get
really
busy down
does,
here.
man. It really does. This
I
this is.
I hope I hope that this show lasts long enough that they do the Fall of Reach, because that Halo 3, actually Halo 1, Halo 3,
Mhm.
and Reach are my favorite Halo games, and
Really.
Reach in particular is my favorite game. 'Cause Reach is a bloodbath. The
Wow.
Covenant take over and they just slaughter the whole planet, and
Even
there's
the
some cool
Spartans.
missions. Everybody gets it. Everybody gets it.
So I guess
They
they figured out their
basically
technology then, so they can kill them because they have this like advanced titanium and everything else as
No,
suits.
Spartans can be killed. They get killed a lot.
Okay.
A lot of them get got because they're the race they're dealing with is they're dealing with a lot of stuff. It's
Mhm.
not like Master Chief is like the lone survivor for a lot of this game.
Wow.
He's just by himself. Usually, like Reach is the I think Reach in I think Halo 5 is the only games that you play with other Spartans.
Hmm.
Most of them is just Master Chief by himself.
Okay.
Like,
Wow.
yeah.
That is
Like Reach,
insane.
you had a whole team on Reach, and I think it's Halo 5. Halo 4 or Halo 5. There's like you had a team, Osiris team. But yeah, it's like he's usually just him, just wrecking shop just by himself. And like the Covenant fear him. They call him the demon and all this other stuff.
Yes, I saw that, the demon. Well, I hope if they destroy Reach, I hope they at least leave some lounges, some EDM clubs, maybe a coffee
Oh,
shop here and there.
oh no, that planet is glassed over from the bombs already. There's nothing left. It
Wow,
is a
it's that
crater.
crazy.
Yeah, that's
Cool,
why
man.
I hope this show lasts long enough that we could see that, because that would be awesome. But Master Chief's not there. He's not on Reach, so I don't know if they're gonna do a Halo show without Master Chief in it, but
Yeah,
he's not on Reach at
it's
all.
going to be interesting to see like what the second episode is all about. You want to give a
Mhm.
brief overview of Halo episode number 1, Contact?
So basically, we are it was a Mandrigal. It's like a mining facility,
Mandrigal. Mhm. Yes, they
and
mine heavy water, which is used to, for weaponry.
yeah, so they're mining, and they have a dispute with ONI, and they don't want to be part of their territory or whatever. So
Mhm.
these guys are telling stories about, oh, you guys are all tough, but wait till you see a Spartan, and then, that's fair. Basically, what happens in
Yeah.
the first 20 minutes is like, oh yeah, the Spartans are for real. Uh, so the I don't know what's the general's daughter. What's her name? I can't remember her name.
Quan.
Kwan. So she's out with her
Mhm.
friends getting high, which is hilarious. And she sees a scout ship, and so she realizes that, well, this is not this is not a Spartan, and she runs back and tries to warn everybody, and they just start the invasion. They just
Mm,
slaughter everybody,
my goodness.
which is fair. and the Spartans show up because the Spartans have been trying to keep the separatists in line. That's
Yeah.
what they're designed for. We talked about this earlier,
Hmm.
and so everybody knows if the Spartans show up, you're going to get shot, or you better start hiding.
Something's gonna
And
happen.
yeah, and the Spartans show up and they start fighting the alien covenant, and it's a slaughter, rightfully so. And Quan is the only one left, and
Wow.
Master Chief is in the cave, and I think they find a Forerunner artifact, which is very important for the lore for the universe. And so I think Halsey tells him to bring it back in one piece.
Mhm.
So he brings it back. He touches it and remembers his childhood and his mother, which is bad for everybody involved in the Spartan
Right.
program
Spartans
because
with
they kidnap these
memories.
kids. Yeah,
Mhm.
you're supposed to be a soldier. That's it. Take
That's
orders.
it.
That's it. So he he takes her back, the sole survivor Quan, back to Reach, and they give him an order to knock her off because she's being defiant, extra defiant, which is ridiculous because you have no leverage. Like it's just you. Like who are
This
you gonna
is
fight here? Like
this is one
come on.
person. She's like what, 15, 16 years old? You just like,
Yeah.
Article 72 off the person? Come on.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's the thing though. Listen, Oni gets their hands dirtier, right? They're not playing around.
Mhm.
So the fact that they're just like knock her off. We don't even want to deal with this crap. Just knock her
Right.
off.
It's
So
crazy.
Master Chief gets into his feelings about this, and he decides to try and take over the automatic pilot, and he kind of gets it over with when they land, and they got the full army surrounding them, and they got other Spartans there to go deal with Master Chief if they have to,
Mhm.
and he kind of takes over the ship and escapes with the artifact and the girl. And this is so uncharacteristic of Master Chief. It's not funny because he's never had this kind of issue before in the books or
Right.
movies or anything like that.
Yeah.
So I
Mhm.
don't know. I don't know where they're going with this. They better land this plane correctly, all right? Because Master Chief is beloved, right? If this
Right.
guy turns out
So,
to be a moron or he does some stupid stuff, people are gonna be mad. I'll put it
well,
like that.
according to you, he's already gone rogue a little bit, right? He went rogue,
Yeah,
right?
he's never done anything like this before.
Has he? He's never gone rogue. He's always been like a soldier, just
Well,
cutting up
he's gone
people, slice
rogue.
Swiss. Hmm.
He's gone rogue for Cortana though, but that's a whole other story. That's a long debate about that.
Yeah. Okay.
This is
This is crazy,
Cortana
man.
is an AI that has like a set time period of life, and at
Hmm.
certain point she's supposed to be deleted, but she tries to extend her life and goes crazy and causes a bunch of problems in the universe in the
Wow.
process. But like
Okay.
Cortana is Master Chief's AI, so he's got like an affinity to her, trying to keep her alive because she's been useful for him in the past. It's long and convoluted, right? And when you
You
say it out
know,
loud, it sounds
mhm.
ridiculous, but
But you know what? What you're saying is kind of interesting because it sounds like that Paramount has a lot of runway to create like a whole franchise around this, just like on the movie screen or at least like on their streaming service. You got Halo, then you were talking about
yeah,
Cortana. You can just have a completely separate, show about Cortana, right?
I think they could do a bunch of stuff with the because the
Hmm.
universe is vast.
Yeah,
You
it's a
you
vast
you have a
universe. It
bunch
looks
of
like it.
things. Yeah, you could go. Yeah, you could go to ancient things. You could do the forerunners. You could go do the past. You could go straight to the future. You could do the covenant thing. There's a bunch of stuff you could deal with. You don't even have to have Master Chief in the show, like I was alluding to with Reach, because there's Spartans all over the place. I think there's like 200 that survived, or
Hmm.
like 100 and something that survived the whole process, and they're all over the place. And there's like you could follow one of them and do a storyline that's completely separate from the universe, and it'll be fine. Like there is a lot of things going on here. You could just follow Hazley around being evil, so you could do that.
Halsey is
Like this is
crazy, isn't she? She looks like she.
she
It's so
is
weird that
bonkers.
you have someone who beautiful woman, a nice
Mhm.
guy, but deep down inside they're like evil
And she is she's a dark
and
person, right?
smart.
Yeah, she's
you know,
smart because she created the AI stuff. She created the suits and she created a process to make the augmented Spartans. So she's responsible for a lot of stuff. That's why she's
now
so important.
Now, does she have like? Is there some background about her? Like maybe her family was killed by the elite warriors, and now she's decided that she was going to grow up, become a super duper scientist, and start creating all this weaponry. What's up with her?
Well, realistically, I think there was a Harvest was the first planet. I think it was Harvest. I can't remember. That's the first contact they had with the Covenant.
Mhm.
Before that, they didn't know there's any of the life out there.
Wow.
So I don't think they've come across them, but they don't really know too much about them yet. Because in the video games, initially they sound like they're talking like gibberish or some alien language, and then slowly through the games, it starts converting their language so you can understand them like they're speaking English.
Mhm.
So like they learn more about them, how they work, what they do, where they came from, all that stuff. So there's a huge lore. There's like what was it, jackals? There's 5 different, species that work under
Mhm.
the Covenant. I think it's 5.
Wow.
They got, because elite, you have jackals, there's, like, these tiny little midget things I hate those things so much, and then, yeah, these big hulking beast guys, like, there's I think it's 4 or 5 different, species that are underneath them, but, like, it's a vast universe of stuff that you could go over. Like there's so much that they could do. I'm surprised they even did a thing around Master Chief because you didn't have to.
Mhm.
You could have just gone and done the story without him and just say he's out there. Because they've done that with other, I think, Forward Unto Dawn. They had a movie that was Forward Unto Dawn, and
Yeah, I saw
he's
that.
in the thing for like
Yeah.
5 minutes.
Mhm. I
But
saw that.
that was pretty good. I
That
like
was
that.
pretty
That was
good,
pretty
yeah.
cool.
Now, it's so weird because sometimes when you look at shows like this or even movies, there are some things you see that are out of place. Like, one scene you may see a person without a wedding band on, then another scene you
Mhm.
may see the person with the wedding band on. So when when the Spartans came down to Mandrago to fight the elite warriors, they were just fighting and Swiss cheesing. Um, the general, he got on a truck. I guess it was a Forerunner or whatever it was, Tundra,
For the
or
cape.
maybe it was an F-150. I don't know, right?
F-150.
You know,
Threw some dirt on the
but
F-150.
he had like a machine gun on top of that, right? And
Yeah.
when the elite warriors came in, he started firing it, right? And it just was
Yeah, it
bouncing
didn't
off
work.
the right.
Yes.
But the elite warrior like knocked it down, and then at one point a Spartan picked up
Mhm.
that machine gun and started shooting the elite warriors and killed them. So I'm just like, well, why did it work for the Spartan and not the general who's just like a regular person?
So they alluded to it with the Master Chief. When they were shooting
Hmm.
at him, his shield went down. So they have shields. So if you shoot for a little bit and stop, the shield will go back to full charge.
Hmm.
So you gotta keep hitting them at a certain spot. You usually gotta hit them in the head. Like if your body shots, it's not gonna do anything.
Right.
You gotta keep hitting them in the head, and then
The
eventually it'll go through.
headshots were gory, man,
But,
and woo.
the long gun, I forgot what it's
Hmm.
called. I should know what this is. The sniper rifle,
Hmm.
that'll put 2 holes in the 5 elites, like, from
Wow.
miles away down the street. That'll put 2 holes in it. That's the best gun there. That
Wow,
other
man.
handgun, you gotta empty, like, 30 shots in there to kill them. The elites are hard to kill, just in general. In the video game, they're hard to kill, and in TV show, they're hard to kill.
Yeah. I
So, yeah, they have a shield on them. That's the reason why it didn't go through, 'cause the Spartans would know where to hit them for the shield to get weaker faster.
Yeah. And then the elite warrior one like just went into the barn or whatever, and man, just killed, like, just
Yeah, they don't care, man.
they
Elites
just
are
straight up
hard.
Swiss cheesed all the kids up. I was just like, wow.
Yeah,
Why
they
did
don't.
like, just off the top of your head, why did Quan survive? What sort of story does she have, you think?
She has no story in the universe.
So
She's
this
not
is a
part of
new
the universe.
character. This is a
They
new
created a
character.
new character for this
Okay.
show,
Hmm.
and she's gonna be sassy, defiant, whatever refugee person. I don't know what they're gonna do with the character, but she's not part of the lore.
Yeah,
She's
man. You
nowhere.
know what? I don't like screaming characters like old girl from Foundation. I'm just like, okay, we
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
need to see
I
that. And I don't
You
like
gotta be rational, man, based on
yes,
your circumstances.
exactly. And I don't like young people who don't understand where they are or think that they can just speak a certain way and have power. It's just like, hey, you know what?
Yes.
Someone just pressed the Article 72 button. You're not even supposed to be here. So you need to like shut your trap
Yeah, bro,
and
like, yo, I'm
see
trying
what
to help
like,
you, like
John
yeah.
is about to do, for
Just
real.
sit down, pipe down,
Yeah.
yo, eat your food and be
Get
quiet
some
right now,
food, you
like
know what I'm saying? Oh boy, he's trying to help you out. He got he got the message. Article 72, get rid of her.
yeah, yeah. 'Cause I thought that was hilarious when she picked the gun, like, you're gonna really do something to him, like, come
He
on,
was
man, like,
like,
stop it.
He took off his helmet, shoot me here if you want to kill me, you
Yeah.
know.
Which I
Now,
thought was fair, because you probably
mhm,
would have said something like that, but, like, like, come on, man, you've heard the stories about Spartans, why would you think shooting them was gonna do you any good right now?
right. It's just like
He's the only one that helped you,
on
like
their planet, how they fear the Spartans, and she already knows that you can't kill these people. They talk about it. You can kill Marines, but you can't kill Spartans, right? And so
yeah,
she
it's the
knows this,
shield.
She knows it. And so she's like, okay, I have this gun now. I guess maybe she thought that if she had his gun, which is a lot more powerful than a regular gun, maybe that gun works on a Spartan, which would be kind of counterproductive, right? It's
No,
just like
it
I'm
doesn't.
gonna make you a
You still gotta
super
kill.
super duper warrior. I'm gonna give you a gun, and the only way you can get killed is with your own gun. Like, really?
Yeah, yeah. No, no,
Come
no.
on.
It's the regular bullets in there, but, like, she's not fast enough to if this guy moves around her, she's still before she pulled the trigger, he would have got to her already.
What's
Like,
up with that that
Spartans are
joint
fast.
the elite warriors have like a sword. They just press a button and it's just like that joint is
Yeah,
slick.
yo, that energy sword's a problem, right? Yeah. Especially when they're invisible. Oh, you don't wanna see you, elite with the energy weapon, like, that's a problem for you. You're gonna have a tough day with that.
I love that cloaking device. That's pretty cool. It's just like, oh my goodness. Once I saw that and I'm like, so the Spartans can't cloak
They
themselves? They
can
can't like they don't
they
have
can't
invisible
cloak them,
mode? Mhm.
and you can't see them. So even with all the technology you have, they have no idea where they are. Up
Man,
until the Halo Infinite, which is the last game, there's a new thing that in the shield that you can make you see them, but before all that, there's no way to see them. You just gotta get lucky and hit off a shot, kinda guesstimate where they are.
I
And it
like
sucks,
the
right?
I like these different worlds. I like Reach, I like Home Charity. Am I saying that right? Is it Home Charity?
No, no, home is charity is that's the prophet charity. He's the
Okay.
the guy that runs everything.
All right. Yeah, I like these different worlds, man. It's just like it's coming together. It sort of reminds me a little bit
Mhm.
of Foundation, how, they created the Foundation and they were trying to, build it up on this one planet. A lot of sci fi shows start out like this too. It's just like you have a powerful, like,
Mhm.
government, but then there are all these colonies spread throughout the entire galaxy that don't like the central government, right? So
Yeah,
it's
that
just
always
like, oh,
happens.
we don't like them. It's just like, oh, we don't want to be ruled by them. We want to be independent. Yada yada yada. So you see that a lot. Let me ask you this here:
Mhm.
Do you have a worst moment of this first episode you'd like to tell me about? Something that just
Uh,
tripped you out as a Halo person.
the Chevy Tahoes annoyed me. Like those they took me out of the show for sure.
Year 2552, and what do we have?
That
Tahoes.
car's 500 years old, right?
like
There's no way they would have imported that car to a different planet. There's
like
just no
dude,
way.
like where are you
It's
getting
such
the
a dumb
brakes? I
thing.
mean, they
Yeah,
probably has
that's what I'm saying.
if you need to
It's such a
repair it, if it
dumb
needs
thing.
like new calibers, where are you getting those from, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I like as far as the separatists or whatever, like that's their reaction. They didn't like the Spartans in
Mhm,
general. So like that I have an issue with that.
mhm.
Um, I mean, overall the show's okay. There's no real standout moments. The Quan girl, she's already on my nerves,
Yeah,
and she better improve as a character by episode 2, or I'm just gonna fast forward through her scenes from here on out.
right.
So they gotta fix
Because
her like now.
yeah, because it looks like Quan is a person who may jeopardize like the entire Spartan like development like program, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
This little
Which is
17,
bad
15
because
year
you're
old.
gonna
Yeah,
need
it's just
them.
like, Article 72. Bam.
You're
I
you're
mean,
gonna you're gonna need the Spartans. You're not gonna do anything without the Spartans. You're gonna
yeah,
need
I
them.
mean, this
It's
is
gonna
not
turn
me
to a
saying it.
bloodbath soon.
Yeah, it's not me saying it. I mean, they gave the Article 72, order. Like, hey, Article 72, old boy came
Yeah,
by and
like
said, she died of her, like, injuries and everything. That was kind of weird,
yeah.
huh?
Yeah, that's kinda weird too.
Mhm.
But, like, he's been an okay character in the games, but, like, my thing with her is that you gotta recognize where you are,
Yeah,
and I know they did that for writing, so they'd have a reason for Master Chief to go run off with her, but, like, come on, man, you don't have any
excuse me.
leverage.
Mhm.
I hate shows where they do the writing, which is so ridiculous in nature. Where like you're being brought back to Reach, and you start talking tough, like you can do something. You can't do anything. All
Come,
your whole plan's destroyed. And your
yeah,
family's killed. They're
that's what
gone.
I mean.
Who are you talking to?
We people like Hollywood and producers, they have to like get that character out of movies, right? They
Yeah,
have to get the
the
screaming
sassy.
person out of movies who's, just like, hey, she's just upset. We have to get the young screaming person out of movies. We have to get
Yes.
remember the little boy who was screaming in that Russian
Mhm.
military flick? No, 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 no. It was what was that show called where they were flying to get away from the sun into the night, right?
Oh yeah, Into the Night. Yeah, with the
And the
kid.
little
Yeah, yeah,
screaming
yeah.
like Russian kid. It's just like, okay, why do we have a 10-year-old boy screaming like a girl? We have
Yeah.
to get rid of characters like that.
We gotta tamp down that kind of stuff. I
We
I
have
like
to
to
get
see
rid of
more rational
characters.
thinking characters. I know
Yes.
not
Mhm.
everybody's gonna be rational, whatever. So if someone's gonna be hysterical, that's cool, but it can't be 6 episodes of hysterical.
Oh
Give
my
me one
goodness. Come
scream, and then you pipe down. You
right.
know,
A small scream though, just like,
yeah,
something that you can't really hear, just like a small,
just like
and
a
don't let it be like an 11-year-old boy sounding like a girl either. And like a 15-year-old girl who's about to like destroy the entire Spartan program, katana, whatever it is, right? It's
Mhm.
just like you cannot let that happen. Article
Yeah,
72.
it's just
That's
annoying.
that we're talking about like a show. This is what they did. Article 72 like, you know what? We don't have time for that. She's going to hold this back.
Yeah.
Let's just Article 72 offer.
Her logic for what she's trying to do was ridiculous on his face. Like
Yeah.
you're the sole survivor. These guys saved your life. A little gratitude would be cool, but also you don't have any leverage. So
None.
stop talking tough.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fight for the winner. No, you're not gonna fight for anything.
It's like,
You're gonna be a
yeah.
refugee on Reach, and here's some clothes. Good luck out there. Like that's what's gonna happen to you.
That was my low point part of this
Mhm.
episode. Just Kwan. It's just like in the beginning she was cool, and then once she got on like the ship and she was like, you know what, I'm gonna basically she's talking like she's gonna like, destroy Reach or something like that. It's like single
Yeah,
handedly. It's like, okay, come on, please, come on, stop it, stop
it's a
it.
pipe down. Like,
It's a
relax, all right?
right,
Just
exactly.
relax. Relax for a bit.
Were there any scenes or parts in Contact that your some of your best scenes, or at least something you thought that was really cool?
I really liked the first 20 minutes when you got to see the Spartans in action.
Yeah.
Because like when you're playing a video game, you see it from the helmet, so you can't really see what it looks like, what they're doing.
Hmm.
But yeah, like I like that. I like seeing these guys like wreck shop. Like I thought that was cool. And
Yeah.
like the small units, like 4 of them, and just the handling business. I love that. They Every episode needs to have a scene of Spartans doing some damage. I
I
need to see
think
that.
I think if you know what, that is so true, because if you had that, that's going to pull, like, have people continue watching. I think with shows like this, yeah, there are
Mhm.
times like throughout an episode you can build up the whole story, right? But
Yeah,
this
there
is
better be a fight at
but
the end of this show.
but the essence of Halo, this is like military. People fight. So you want to see
Yeah.
this happen on a regular basis, every
Mhm.
episode. And the opening scene was also like my favorite scene as well,
Mhm.
because it sort of set everything up, right?
Yeah, you can set the tone like, "Yo,
Yeah.
the world is real. These guys
Hmm.
blow people's legs off, so that's
Hmm.
real, and Spartans are for real too." So I was like, "Okay." When I saw that, I was like, "Okay, I can breathe a sigh of relief. The Halo show is gonna at least do right by them, by the Spartans." and Master Chief. At least they're gonna try and do a good job with him, and they are trying. I'll give them that. They are trying to do a good job with Master Chief. Like he looks hulking. He doesn't look like a 6 foot one. He looks like he's 8 feet. He looks
Mhm.
like he's the big strong dude,
Yeah.
and I like that fact. I like that they did a good job with the weapons. The weapons look accurate, and the damage they do is accurate too. Because if you had these kind of weapons, you would mow down people. Like that's just
Yeah.
a fact.
Yeah. I mean, I also like just the like how Reach looks, it's just all the advanced technology there.
Yeah, it looks
Um,
cool. It
it
looks
looks
cool.
cool as anything, right? And I think that's one of the things that I like about these sci-fi shows. Like, what does that specific world look like?
Mhm.
If it's like
Yeah.
rudimentary, it's like, oh, I don't know if I can get into that, right? If it's like, wow, look at this. I can, I'm down with that.
Mhm.
I'm
It
totally
feel it
down with
feels
that.
like it's in the future.
Yes,
Like
it does,
I would
doesn't
like to
it?
see what Earth is gonna look like though,
Yeah.
and we need to see some spaceships because they didn't show any spaceships from Earth yet.
What do you
So we got
think
to see
about
what those.
what do you think about like the graphics, CGI, just like color grading the whole nine?
I think it looks good. It definitely looks like a TV show and not a movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it didn't have that, like, filmic look. It had more of a TV look, but I thought, like, the special effects were good. They're decent. Like,
Hmm.
cause the aliens are all CGI, so you have to make them look right, and, for the most part, they look decent. They looked
Yeah.
okay.
You know,
I have no issues with.
that's a very good point. You said it definitely looks like a TV show, not a movie.
Mhm.
Let me ask you this. So, did The Expanse and or Foundation look like a movie?
Expanse looks like a movie.
Hmm.
And no, Foundation looks like a movie as well. I would
Okay.
say, yeah, Foundation and Expanse look like a movie.
Wow, that's a very good point because when I was watching it, I didn't quite know like how to think about that.
Mhm.
I was just like, this doesn't like, this looks like something, because on the Paramount Plus app, they'll show scenes
Mhm.
and then they'll break away from that and you'll just see like some black space and then they'll
Mhm.
come back. And I don't know if that's like if it's something that is aired on regular TV and that's where a commercial is seen or whatever or
Yeah, I
I
don't
don't know.
understand what the black space is for, like, it's not supposed to be commercials, it's
Right,
online. Like, what's it for?
Well, it's weird because they'll show like these shows on Paramount Plus first, and
Mhm.
then like maybe a few months later they'll start playing them on CBS.
Okay, so maybe that's why they did it like that.
Yeah, so it's just
'Cause
like,
I know Yellowstone is like that too, like, they have parts where it's like, "This is a commercials break is supposed to go here."
right,
And I'm like,
exactly.
why?"
So
Like
they're setting it up for the mastering engineer, like you get what you
Yeah,
get,
yeah. Yeah, yeah, well,
So,
they have to tone down
mhm.
some violence on this show, though,
Oh my
a lot.
goodness. It's like the way they're getting Swiss cheese, man. It's bang bang. But that is so
Mhm.
true, man. Wow. It doesn't have that movie filmic sort of like feel to it. It is shot in
Yeah.
Dolby. Um
Yeah,
and
no,
it
like, visually it's right, but, like,
yeah.
the video game is colorful too, though. So, maybe they're trying to match, like, the style of the video game visually, because
Yeah,
it's
it's
bright and
Dolby
colorful.
Atmos, uh-huh.
No, I'm saying, like, the video game is bright and colorful. It's not, like, dark and dreary or whatever like a movie would be.
Mhm.
Like, it's supposed to be bright and outside, and, like, a lot of Forerunner stuff is, like, silver, metallic, and just it's bright, it's colorful.
Right.
It's well lit. That's the best way to describe it. It's well lit.
Yeah. I do like this. I like the first episode. It's pretty cool. Like I said, we've been looking forward to this, and
Mhm.
man, first episode thus far, I'm okay with it. I hope they build on to this because if they don't, it would be a travesty.
Yeah.
Just like
It's got a
okay,
they got a good platform here, like,
dude, how
do
long have we
something with
been waiting
it.
for this? For like a month or something? Just like,
Yeah,
oh,
we talking
this
about this for a
better be
minute since
good.
they greenlit
Yeah.
it.
So
And,
here
like,
we are right
Spielberg's
here.
involved in it too, I think. I think Spielberg's involved in it too.
You know, it's tough, Keo, because we've seen, The Expanse, which is just phenomenal.
Yeah, that's grade A. Like, that's top of the
Phenomenal.
pyramid.
Everything about it, right? Just phenomenal,
Mhm.
right? Every episode looked like a movie, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Phenomenal. Foundation. Apple's going to give you movie quality sort of stuff. Come on, right?
Yeah, no, it's filmed to high quality, like, there's no
Yeah,
question about that.
so I'm hoping that this is something that I hope it, just continues getting good. Like give us like a 7-star rating for each,
Mhm.
episode, moving forward. I hope it looks good, man, because I like this first episode. I watched it 3 times.
Mhm.
Um and yeah, I mean, it's a really good, Thursday watch, man. So looking forward
Yeah,
to the second episode.
as a Halo fan, I'm not mad at it. So what would you rate it? What would you give a rating for it?
Hmm. Okay. I am going to give episode 1, Halo Contact, a 7.5. Now, I'm giving it a
Okay.
7.5 because I did watch some Halo short films on Netflix. They call them something totally different. You have to
Mhm.
understand the whole Halo thing. I have the
Yeah, you gotta
Halo,
understand the lore to watch those
right?
things too
I
too.
have the video game as well, and I noticed that
Correct.
the weaponry is the same, but I'm not a big video game player. If I do play video games, it's like, Madden NFL or something like that. But
Yeah.
yeah, I like the first episode. It looked really good. You had some good bang bang scenes. The
Mhm.
character building was pretty good. I'm not quite sure about Quam. I'm going to give her a
Yeah, we're gonna
chance.
see.
You
We're
know,
gonna see.
I'm going to give Quan a chance, and we'll
Mhm.
see what's going on. And I'm also really interested to see what this whole cloning thing is about, this whole cloning program. So that's going to be pretty interesting. What about you? What you give it? What's your rating of Halo episode 1?
I As a Halo fan, I give it a 7,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm hoping for the best, like, I'm rooting for it.
Mm-hmm.
He needs to stop taking his helmet off though, but I'm rooting for the show. I like to see the show go somewhere, because like, the stuff is good, like, your foundation's good. The characters look good, the aliens look good, the weapons, they look right, they sound
Mm-hmm.
right. They did a little bit of the first person thing, so they went from inside the helmet. I thought was cool, although that's not the helmet overlay though.
Oh,
I'm like,
really?
"Yo, this thing is not the right spot, so what's going on here?" But, like, like, visually, I thought it was fine. Story-wise, I they have to land this plane, man. I don't know where they're going with this, with Master Chief being a rogue person.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know where they're
So
going.
right. So it's just like,
Master Chief is beloved because he does the missions and he saves the day. That's it. And he's not going on some spiritual quest to figure out what humanity is or whatever. They're like, Master Chief, there's some aliens here, blow this thing up. He's like, I got you, fam. That's Master Chief.
Article
Here's some
72
missions. He's got some missions, he gets it done. He doesn't talk a lot. That's Master
comes
Chief.
back.
That's what I would like
Um,
to see.
Okay, so you said everything looks like it's
It looks
on
right.
point. It looks
Except for
right.
Cortana.
Hmm.
And Cortana looks terrible. Like, that's one of the worst designs I've ever seen. And the
Really,
thing is, though, you have all the designs from the video games. Just put that on the TV show. It's already done.
you
They did the green screen. They did the
right?
3D rendering already.
It's all
Just
there.
like, hey, 343, we need to borrow some Cortana.
Hmm.
Cool, done. 5 minutes to put it in the actual show, and it would have gone a long way for fans to be like they're happy with the design. But I don't know what they were thinking. It looks weird.
Yeah, well, again, this is the first episode. I gave it a 7.5. Keo's giving it a 7. That's pretty good. you
Yeah, no,
know,
I'm not mad at it. Overall,
yeah.
I'm not mad at the
It's not
overall
like,
thing.
oh, I gave it a 2, Keo gave it a 1. It's just like we're not going to episode number 2. We
Yeah.
gave it a 1 and a
I'm
2.
interested to see more for sure. Like, I wanna see more, but
It
I
looks
love
good.
Halo.
Yeah. I'm
I'm a huge
definitely
Halo
looking
fan.
forward to seeing this, seeing more about this. Yeah, and just, really taking it from there because this is something
Mm.
we've really been looking forward to. It looks like they are going to have, let me see here. Um, it looks like they are going to have, oh, 9 episodes, 10 episodes actually.
10 episodes? Okay.
Yeah, nine is. They always say this. They always do this weird. It looks like it has 9 episodes, but we will see. Sometimes they just hide the 10th one. I don't know why, but
Alright, that would
that's
be
what it.
weird to do 9 shows instead of 8 or 6 or whatever.
Right.
It's usually
It's just
easier.
like right.
Alright.
Yeah, we'll see what's going on.
Yeah.
Well, there you have it. Another episode of the Behind the Groove podcast. I am Basil Barrington.
I am DJ Keo.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And until next time, peace.
All right.